Okay, hey there, what's going on? Carrie Hyam here with AttractionMarketing.com. Super pumped to be live here on today's Daily Dose of Awesome. My name is Carrie Hyam, and I'm an attraction marketer here inside of the community. And we're going to be talking a little bit about fishing, but not necessarily fishing, but how prospecting is a lot like fishing and how you can actually use social media. Hey Layla, good to see you. How you can actually use social media to not only catch a lot of fish at once, but also how to catch the big fish. So stay with me. We're going to be talking about how to avoid some of the pitfalls that we see a lot of people in our community make and how you can actually use attraction marketing to go out and catch that big fish. So if you're hopping on, comment your name, where you're from. That way I can give you a shout out. I'm so excited to be live. It's been a little bit since I've been live here inside this community. Hey Alicia, good to see you. Tom, Fran, if you're watching this and it's not live, make sure to give me a hashtag replay in the comments and I will get back to your comment later. All right, so hey Claire, hey Veronica, Tara, good to see you guys. Eric, good to see you. Michael, Chad, awesome. Okay, so if I don't get to your comment today, I will later, but continue interacting with me. I want to make this as interactive as possible. We're going to have a good time here for the next 15 minutes or so. So a couple weeks ago, I want to start out by asking a question. How do you catch and enroll? Let's put it that way, because I'm going to be tying this into fishing, but how do you catch and enroll a big fish in your network marketing business? If we're thinking about network marketing like it's fishing and like prospecting and recruiting, how do you enroll a top earner? How do you find someone who's a big fish, who has a lot of influence, and get them to work with you, even if you're a brand new person? Maybe you don't have a lot of experience. Maybe you haven't built a big team yourself. That's kind of what I want to talk about and what I want to tie this into. Hey Anne, hey Chelsea, good to see you guys. So 2 weeks ago, we took our kids on a family fishing trip. We love to do this every year. It's my chance to unplug, unwind, and get up in nature and just kind of, build that solid foundation and keep that solid foundation going in our family. It's also a chance for us to do what my boys love to do most, and that is fish. And so I found it interesting. As we were sitting there, we were hiking up to this lake. It's a lake called Lower Rock. My little boy, he's holding my hand, and he asked me, he's like, Mom, I want to catch a big fish. How do I catch a big fish? And it kind of had me I started thinking about a Facebook workshop, a Facebook advertising workshop that I went to back in May here with AttractionMarketing.com, or Elite Marketing Pro as they used to be known. And this conversation about how do I catch and enroll a lot of people at once? How do you catch and enroll a lot of fish at once? It kind of started playing through my mind, and it played through my mind the entire day as we were sitting there and as we were fishing. So we get there, we get up to the lake, and so it was my parents, my boys, Whit and I. So there was like there's probably 6 fishing poles in the water, all right? And as we're sitting there, we haven't really caught anything, and then, maybe we're catching little minnows here and there, but we haven't really started to catch any big fish. And so we think, well, what might we do? How about we go over onto the rocks across the lake, and let's try fishing from a different area. So that's exactly what we did. We head over there, and we discovered that the fishing over there was a lot better than the fishing on the bank as you first get there. So we're casting out our poles. We're all using worms at this time. Okay, we're all using worms. We're casting out, and we're catching fish like here and there. Maybe one fish every 15-20 minutes or so, right? Like it's an okay day of fishing. But then Whit had an idea, and he's all like, what if we tried using different bait on just a couple of the poles? He's like, what if we tried just using some different bait? I think we had gone like a span of an hour at one point where we hadn't caught anything, even though we were bringing in these big fish. Hey, Becca, good to see you. Sherry, good to see you too. How do you catch and enroll a big catch, right? Like that's what we're talking about here if you're joining me just now. So we start putting different baits. So my dad decides he's going to try using a fly. I think we put some power bait on a couple other poles. All of a sudden, the fishing went nuts. right? Like it was crazy. As we were casting them out, all of a sudden it was like, oh my gosh, there's another one, there's another one, there's another one. We were reeling them in faster than we could cast out our poles. So how does this apply to your business? So when I first got started with attraction marketing, I was a traditional network marketer, and I had been told, just tell my story, right? Just tell your story, go out, you're prospecting, and as you're prospecting, just tell your story. Well, here's the thing. At this Facebook conference that I was at, I realized that I was stuck. I was stuck for a long time inside of network marketing when we first got started. And as we got into Elite Marketing Pro, they're now called attractionmarketing.com, we were taught how to use Facebook advertising, taught how to use funnels, and taught how to tell our story different ways to attract different people to us. And as I was at this Facebook conference where we were learning more about the BELT method and how to use Facebook Lives and storytelling through video to actually enroll and recruit, the trainer who was there, he said something that really stood out to me. And he said that in his ad agency, because he has an ad agency, this man has made millions and millions of dollars through Facebook advertising. He talked about the importance of switching up the story at least weekly, like weekly to every 2 weeks, switching up and telling a different story to your audience. And all of a sudden, it was like a light bulb went off in my mind. Oh, it's a little blurry. Let me see if I can focus it again. There we go. All of a sudden, a light bulb went off in my mind when I realized I had been telling, like I tell my story. When you first come into attraction marketing, you actually hear my story and how they've kind of helped us. But I suddenly realized that I have been telling the network marketing piece and the network marketing side of my story in just one way. And all of a sudden, we started playing around with the idea that we can tell our story different ways to catch different types of fish or different types of people. So in our Facebook Lives, we've started implementing in like different trainings where, when it comes to our network marketing, we're looking for specific type of people, right? When we're prospecting and recruiting, there's certain types of people that I enjoy working with. And so I've started telling my story in different ways to attract those type of people. And the results have been I am enrolling incredible people that want to use funnels to build their business. So how can you use this with where you're at in your business right now? All right. If you are not doing Facebook Lives, I highly, highly recommend that you start, okay? If you're doing Facebook Lives, drop a 1 in the comments. I want to know if you're using Facebook Lives, because Facebook Lives and video, it is the fastest, easiest way for you to build a relationship and to build rapport with a prospect on the other end. It's a great way to actually have them filter themselves to decide if they're picking up what you're putting down, like if you're going to jive, right? Video is the fastest way for them to decide if you're a person that they want to work with or not. And so if you're doing Facebook Lives, and let's say that you're doing Facebook Lives 2 or 3 times a week, what if you had a specific theme that you focused on for that week, and you started telling the story, you started doing the lives, you started doing the trainings, and then the call to action was for a specific type of fish or a specific type of person that you wanted to work with. All of a sudden, it was like all of these light bulbs started going off in my mind. I'd love to know what you are getting from this. So what I have found personally, just by doing this here over the last few weeks, we've been doing it since May, is that we are actually attracting a wide variety of people. And something else that we've been doing is we've actually been inviting other people into our audience so that they can hear other people's stories, other people's points of view. And what it's done is it's expanded our entire audience and our entire network. So what is one thing that you might specifically do that could help grow and expand your network without having to just tell your story? I'd love to know. Those of you who are on with me, let me know. Yes, you guys are doing some Facebook Lives. Michael's doing Facebook Lives 5 days a week. That is awesome, my friend. Like, doing Facebook Lives, if you're doing it, like, you have no idea how incredible as you get down the road in learning your attraction marketing and learning this journey, you're going to be able to retarget using those lives, which is really cool. Facebook Lives, if you're not doing them, you want to make sure that you are doing them. Awesome. Amber's doing them. I know Amber's doing them. Amber's doing lives. Olive's doing lives. Anne-Marie's doing lives. Brig, good to see you, hun. Darger, he's doing lives. Yeah. Hi, love it. Interview others. Paul. Oh, great. I love that you guys are doing this. Share other people's experiences. Yes, I love it, you guys. Oh, you're so smart. So if you think about this, if let's say that you have just your story and you're like, I don't really know how to change up my story to attract other people. What if you invited a guest onto your page and you had them tell their story and about how whatever it is that you guys are promoting, had them tell their story about how, whatever it is you're promoting has helped them. That's going to take your audience and expand it. You're going to start attracting higher quality people and more people. Okay, I'll help you in just a minute. 4-year-old, he always makes an appearance while we're doing Daily Dose of Awesome. But anyways, by doing interviews, by interviewing others, you are now sharing different stories that are going to resonate with other people. Okay? I do live 6 days a week at least. Cherie, that is awesome. I absolutely love that. I do a ton of makeup lives. Love it, Becca. Let's see, with makeup doing get ready with me. Let me know what you mean by that, Becca. I want to know what you mean by that. Yes, ma'am, all the time. Yes. So interviews, doing interviews. Not only is it going to expand your audience, it will expand their audience as well. And it's like a rising tide raises all ships, right? Where you are both all of a sudden leveraging the exposure of everyone else's communities, and you're going to attract the people that are ideal to work with you, and they're going to attract the people that are ideal to work with them in sharing other people's stories. So now, how do you catch a big fish? This is something and a concept that when I first got started, I did not even I was like, who am I, right? Like, this was a big thing for me. I was like, who am I to attract a top earner when I was lucky to be making $80 a month in my company? Like, that was my residual check at the time. I was like, how am I supposed to go out and catch a big fish? How are you supposed to go out and catch a big fish, right? Like, how am I going to attract that type of person and that caliber of person to me? Well, it's interesting that, oh wait, let me see, live, I do videos where I am showing myself doing makeup, but I am just sharing and talking, and my watchers are talking to me and asking questions. So Becca, that's a great way that you can do that. I know that you just went VIP. I believe you just went VIP. So where you just went VIP, follow the roadmap, and the roadmap is going to actually, I believe somewhere in the roadmap they talk about Facebook Lives. You can actually start doing interviews with other makeup artists, other people that have had whatever company that you're in, maybe people that are in your team. You can start interviewing other people. You can start maybe having those people do their makeup with you. You can have them start giving you tips so that it attracts different types of people. Hopefully that answered your question. I need to start. It's getting rough though. The right bait and a strong line. Oh, Tara, I love it. I love that analogy. So if you're wanting to attract and catch a big fish, you need to have the right bait for that fish, right? So when I was sitting there and I was like, okay, what message could I give that would attract a big fish, or attract, it doesn't even necessarily have to be a top earner, but someone maybe with an audience, maybe someone who has built something before, right? All you have to do is tell the right story with the right call to action that's going to resonate with that person. And that's exactly what we've been doing in our advertising over the last little bit and in our Facebook Lives is, I love fish, right? Like, I'll take a minnow when it comes to network marketing. I'll take a brand new, person, because I love to watch the leadership and development come up from there. But your business is going to grow fast if you are attracting big fish all the time, right? Like, if you're attracting a marlin, like, how do we catch a marlin, right? You need the right bait, which is telling a story that is going to resonate with that person. So I actually started sharing a story. I personally started sharing a story about a girl in our team, or not in our team, but in our company, that she was involved in another company, and she was watching her check go backwards because she didn't really have any duplication or anything in her team. And so I started sharing that story and talking about the importance of duplication, the importance of retention, and the importance of having systems and processes in place. Can you tie my bait for me? Chad, you're funny. You've got to tie your own bait. You definitely have to tie your own bait and the reason you have to tie your own bait is because if I was the person tying the bait, they're just going to be attracted to me, right? They're not going to be attracted to Chad. And that's what I love about attraction marketing, is that it's teaching you how to build a brand around you so that you can attract and catch these big fish, and you can attract and catch fish like in the masses, right? Where they're coming in faster than you can actually cast out, which is telling the right story. That's really all it is telling the right story that is going to relate to that person at that time. And so we started attracting some bigger players to us because of the story that we were telling about duplication, retention, the importance of having systems and processes in place so that your team grows when you're not there. And all of a sudden we started attracting those people. So I want to ask you, and I want to leave you with this. What story might you tell, or what story might you have a guest tell on your page that will start attracting the type of fish that you want to work with? What kind of story can you tell? Maybe there's someone here in the community that has a story that you resonate with that might attract that fish. Maybe it's someone in your company, or maybe it's your network marketing company, right? Someone who has a story that might attract that type of fish that you're looking for. And when worst comes to worst, this is the biggest piece of advice I can give you. Have as many poles in the water as you can. Have as many stories out there as you can. Maybe it's your story, maybe it's someone else's story, maybe it's whatever, right? But make sure there's so many stories out there. Aw, thank you so much, Becca. I appreciate that. Yes, braces are off. I actually got them off in April, so I've had them off for a little bit. But having all of those different poles out with all the different bait, it's going to, your chances of attracting a big fish are so much higher than if you're just sticking to telling your same story over and over and over and over again. And like I said before, a rising tide raises all ships. So as you are going on and you're being interviewed by others, as you're inviting people to come in and be interviewed by you, you are expanding your network. You're expanding your network, and all of a sudden, people that you never thought you would ever meet are going to be messaging you wanting to know how they can work with you better. So I want to know, what's the biggest takeaway you got? If you got value, give me a hashtag value in the comments. I love fishing, and I love talking about fishing, and it was fun to kind of do this analogy. Amber, you just barely said that. Love this fishing analogy. I thought it would be a great way to kind of give you guys a visual of how having multiple stories out there, right? Have several different poles in the water, right? So maybe it's a Facebook Live, maybe it's a Facebook ad, maybe it's just a different story. Maybe your big thing is Facebook Lives and it's just different stories that you have out there. Maybe it's Facebook ads and you just have different stories in your Facebook advertising that you're sharing with people. Variety and collaboration. I love it. Oh, good. We're getting interview a fish. Interview a big fish. How awesome would it be if you were able to interview a big fish, and then all of a sudden people that are watching this interview, they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe so-and-so is interviewing this big fish. They must be somewhat of a big fish too. I'm going to go and I'm going to check out what they're doing, right? If everyone just plays like here, where everyone kind of just looks at everyone like we're equals in this and we're all just trying to build each other up, everyone's going to get to where they need to be. And if you have an abundance mindset where you're never going to run out of people, because you're not, there's always more leads, there's always more sales, there's always more stories. If you think and play from this headspace, all of a sudden, the world is your oyster. Your network, your influence, your credibility, everything just expanded. And that, my friend, is how you attract and enroll a big fish. So Daily Dose of Awesome is live every day here on the Elite Marketing Pro page. They might be changing it. I don't know, because they're kind of going through rebranding. It's now attractionmarketing.com. They go live every day, Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So if you do not have your notifications set, make sure that you set your notification right now so that you don't miss out on any of the value that is shared from people like me and other top earners here inside the attraction marketing space. So have a great, I have been talking about the need to know who we are before we can get people to trust us. We may have things we do not want to tell about ourselves, but we need to know what those are. Otherwise, what happened here? Oh, there we go. Otherwise, we are not integrated within ourselves. Oh, that's interesting. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that, Michael. Abundance mindset. I love it. How do we keep our attraction marketing separate from our MLM business? I'm with HempWorks, and I definitely have to keep them separate. Brand you, Chad. That's my biggest piece of advice. Brand you. And because, when it comes to the HempWorks, when it comes to CBD, because on Facebook, it is kind of one of those things that probably isn't going to be approved. If you focus on branding yourself and you focus on building know, like, and trust by just sharing value, all these people are going to be attracted to you. And then that's where you're going to be able to promote your CBD on the back end. Because once you do that, they already know and like and trust you anyways. And then you're just recommending a product that you're passionate about, and it's actually going to, in the end, you'll have more people that end up buying your CBD or end up joining you because you led with yourself anyways. All right. Let's see. Brand you. This is so good. Thank you. Okay. I want to do lives on my business page, but also my personal page about CBD. So I would like help with that if anyone is doing both. Chad, I recommend just reaching out in the community. Reach out in the community, see if anyone's doing that, see what's working for people, and collaborate with those that are, in the same area that you are, and see what's working for others. All right. So anyways, it was great being live with you guys today. Continue to comment. If you have questions, let us know. If I don't get to your comment right away, I will soon. So make sure that you watch out for Daily Dose of Awesome. They'll be live again tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern. So have a great day, everyone, and we will talk soon.